Saturday, the 15th of June 2013. It is a very good afternoon to you and welcome to this edition of KTN Live at 1, bringing you all the news updates at this hour. I'm Eric Njoka. Police in Nairobi have unearthed a fake passport printing syndicate in Westlands that could have been used in facilitating the movement of criminal elements in and out of the country. At the same time, they have also recovered stolen goods worth thousands of shillings from at least 6 business premises in Kayole. Patrick Amimo reports on the Nairobi police recent crime-busting efforts.
A police operation in Parker Road apartment in Westlands recovered a number of Kenyan and foreign passports that have been illegally printed by super service printers. Also recovered were diplomatic passports.
The said firm has been in operation for the last 7 years. The firm deals in computer graphics. The firm also deals in printing materials, screen printing, posters, print materials, including passports, identity cards, living certificates, visas for various countries.
Some of the printed items recovered include new generation Kenyan identity cards and those from neighboring countries. There were also automated teller machine cards for various banks from neighboring countries. However, the fake passports have raised the police security antenna about the firm's possibility of assisting criminal elements.
The documents printed are so smart to be detected unless one has an hook-eye. Among the major printing seals is that of British High Commission, which we believe was successfully used through JKIA to London, only to be detected in London when the holder of the passport was briefly held and released as the holder was at a close watch by the security agents.
The police operation also targeted the eastlands parts of Nairobi, where stolen goods were recovered in 5 premises in Kayole Estate. Among the recovered items are laptops, gas cylinders, mobile phones, radio cassettes, DVDs and television sets.
We have also a mobile phone repair kit and other 100 cables for flashing stolen phones.
The operation followed increased cases of insecurity in the eastlands part of Nairobi, where residents have been mugged and even their houses broken into and goods stolen. There have also been cases where people have been carjacked and robbed in the eastlands part of Nairobi. Owners of the premises where the stolen goods were recovered are assisting police with investigations.
We wish to appeal to public to desist from buying, selling, or retaining suspected stolen property.
Police say members of the public can come to identify the recovered stolen goods at Nairobi Area Police Headquarters. Patrick Amimo, KTN.
Now, a section of governors are far from impressed with the recent national budget published by the government. Governors Council Chairman Isaac Ruto has said some of the projects budgeted for, like irrigation, should have been left for the county government to undertake. Other governors have also expressed their dismay at what they have termed a paltry percentage of the national budget set aside for devolution. They are now questioning the Jubilee government's commitment to devolution altogether.
They seem to be still budgeting on our functions, and that is precisely what we were saying about a week ago. Like they are budgeting for irrigation, which is a function. They are budgeting for a lot of activities in agriculture. They are budgeting for building dispensaries, which is our function. They haven't understood that there are functions for the 2 levels of government.
I know this is a transitional budget, and the fact that it is a transitional budget, I think the relevant committees of the National Assembly did not have time to look at the budget in detail. But I'm surprised, out of a budget of 1.6 trillion, only 190 million has been voted for to go to the counties. Are we serious with devolution?
The counties now are not able to do their own budget because we don't know how much money is supposed to come to the counties because of this controversy about 210 billion, 190 billion, and 258 billion. So that until we know for sure how much money is supposed to come to the counties, we will not be able to do a budget.
So essentially then the signs that I read in the budget is that it may not necessarily take care of the devolution as specified in the Constitution. Because the moment you have less funds, then it means less services to the people.
The Parliamentary Committee on Energy says Kenyans should expect reduced cost of power within the next 2 years. Speaking when the committee visited the Menengai geothermal project on a fact-finding tour, committee chairman Jamlet Kamau said that ongoing geothermal exploration and production in various parts of the country has great potential, which, when exploited fully, will lower power costs. The Menengai geothermal project, he said, has the potential to add 10,000 megawatts to the national grid. The world-renowned Menengai crater is the second largest crater in Africa and was born around 3 million years ago. A multi-billion geothermal exploration project is currently being undertaken at the crater by the state-owned Geothermal Development Company, GDC.
So today's trip was simply for members of my committee to understand the workings of GDC. All right? And after here, we are going to be able to visit many other players in the energy sector. Because as a committee of parliament, we would want to establish the reasons why the cost of power is that high.
Now, Safaricom, in partnership with the Communications Commission of Kenya, CCK, and the National Environment Management Authority, NEMA, have launched a campaign to educate the public on the impact of wrongful disposal of electronic waste, or if you like, e-waste. Members of the public can drop off their unused electronics at the WE Center, where the waste will be dismantled in the correct way and recycled. A caravan will be going round the city over a period of 5 weeks, collecting electronic waste in more than 120 residential areas.
As a regulator, you'll know that if you have a guideline, you cannot enforce it. You cannot penalize any offender to this particular thing. So we moved further, beginning 2012, to really develop e-waste regulation. So we are now in the process of doing an e-waste regulation, which is at advanced stages of completion. We have done the content in terms of what is really electronic waste, what will we be looking at, who needs to be doing what, the roles and responsibilities.
If you're looking for incentive to give up your e-waste, look at your children, look at your expectant wife, look at your grandchildren, look at your siblings, and ask yourself, do you want them to enjoy a good future? Can we stand by and watch all this e-waste collecting and we do nothing about it, and later on suffer the immense medical and environmental impact that it has on us?
Now, health officials in Kitengela got more than what they bargained for when a routine visit to close down a cafe at the Matatu terminal turned into a confrontation with Matatu touts. The health officials were on a mission to close down the cafe that is said to be operating outside the recommended health provisions, but were confronted by the touts who said it was good enough for them. The owner of the cafe, that is in an open area and lacks toilet facilities, was perhaps the greatest winner in the scuffle, as the Matatu operators insisted that the prices of the food offered at the cafe was affordable and would not let the officials close it down. Efforts by the health officers to explain to the crowd their mission were fruitless, and they were forced to walk away, perhaps hoping to come and complete their mission when tempers cool down.
Kwa mtaro iko hapo na hiyo ni hoteli na haijafungwa. Tungetaka kama watataka kufunga hiyo kioski waende wafunge ile nyumba na wafunge ile kioski. Ni kweli tunakula chakula 50. Tukienda kwa hoteli tunakula 200, nalipwa 300.
Let's move on now. The Kenya Bureau of Standards has seized over 300 bags of dry maize from a farm in Taita Taveta district after a laboratory test confirmed that the maize had high levels of aflatoxin. However, the KBS test conflicts with a previous one by the government chemist that had indicated that the maize is indeed fit for human consumption. Catherine Omwanto reports.
When the government chemist allegedly tested these 300 plus bags of maize, the harvest was rendered fit for human consumption. However, when the maize was delivered to millers in Mombasa, no milling company was ready to touch it on suspicion that the harvest was contaminated and that the government chemist got it all wrong.
Tulichukua sample tukapeleka mahabara zetu Nairobi tukapima.
And when the maize was sent to the Kenya Bureau of Standards, tests conducted on the 16th of April confirmed that the maize did indeed contain aflatoxin.
I got the results which showed that there was no contamination. The maize was declared wholesome and free from aflatoxins. That is as according to the report from the government analyst.
Tumeyapima na tukayaona hayafai. Sasa kama hao wengine wanasema yanafaa, siwezi kueleza, lakini kwetu ni kwamba mahindi hayafai kulingana na viwango vimewekewa mahindi.
Transporters and suppliers who had bought the maize from Gisheha Farm, Ziwani Estate in Taveta are now demanding a refund and are demanding to know why the tests from the government chemist and the Kenya Bureau of Standards differ.
Walikataa mzigo na wakalazimishwa wakapakia.
When KTN reporters on the ground tried to get a hold of the management of Gisheha Farm, they were ordered off the property. Catherine Omwanto, KTN.
Although also in other news today, over 1,000 inmates at the Kingongo Maximum Prison got a chance to air their grievances to the Nyeri Court Users Committee, where they complained about the long delay in hearing of cases that has led to unnecessary congestion at the facility. The inmates asked the committee that comprised of judges at the Nyeri High Court to speed up hearing of cases, especially at the Court of Appeal level. Karonderi reports.
Guests of the state at Kingongo Maximum Prison played host to an unlikely group of visitors, one that they only interact with during sentencing in court, and perhaps some of the inmates here were meeting the very judges who sentenced them to prison for the first time since the courtroom. Over 1,000 inmates at the prison sought to have their views heard by the Nyeri Court Users Committee. Present were Nyeri High Court Judge Justice James Wakiaga, accompanied by Nyeri Court of Appeal Judge Gadhurima Kinoti, Mwiga OCS Robert Nga, amongst others. The inmates complained of the delay in determining of cases, saying that many were suffering in remand awaiting hearing.
Tuko na shida sisi kama mafungwa. Kuna watu wamekaa zaidi ya miaka 3 wakigojea appeal.
Mtu ameteseka jela miaka 3 na hakuna malipo. Anakuja kuwasiliwa na appeal akiwa amekaa jela miaka 4.
The delay, especially in the Court of Appeal, has led to congestion in the prison, and they want the matter sorted urgently.
This judiciary of Mutunga, the one I represent in Nyeri, we are very friendly. And for those who come to my court, you realize that sometimes we bend back, we bend forward, we laugh, and we give everybody time to feel at home, isn't it?
Mahakama sasa wamechukua msimamo kuwa hakuna kesi ambayo itaahirishwa kama hakuna sababu muhimu.
They complained that some of the suspects who have committed capital offences are very poor and should be provided with lawyers by the state until their cases are determined by the Court of Appeal.
Tumesikia vile umesema na tunajua kuwa saa nyingine kunakuwa na shortage of prosecutors. Some magistrates have to share prosecutors. So that is one of the issues that my boss, the DPP, has given priority. Na pia hatutakuwa tuna rely only on the police prosecutors. Kuna mpango pia wa kuandika lay prosecutors ambao watakuwa attached kwa ofisi yetu ili waweze kuconduct trials in the lower court.
Carol Nderi for KTN at the Kingongo prison in Nyeri.
Public service vehicle operators in Samburu County have donned their tools to protest the rising insecurity along the route. Operators plying the Maralal Isiolo Road have fallen victim to armed robbers who terrorized their passengers, with up to 10 incidents now being reported in a week. The vehicle owners are complaining that despite the fact that they report the incidents to the local police, none of the bandits have been tracked down, nor property recovered. They are now calling on the government to intervene and restore order along the routes. The strike has paralyzed transport in the region as operators have vowed to pull out their vehicles from the routes until their security is guaranteed.
Na hapo sisi tukasimamisha, driver akasimamisha gari hapo, na sisi yote tulikuwa tunaelekea Mara. Sasa tukatolewa sote, na kutolewa sio kutolewa namna hivi, ni kupikwa. Tunalalishwa kwa mchanga. Sisi tunalala kama tunakula mchanga kwa kichwa.
Tumekuwa tukipigwa, tumekuwa tukinyanyazwa baya sana. Sasa mpaka imefika wakati tunaona ni vizuri tuongee, ili at least serikali iingilie kati, tuijue venye itaweza kutusaidia, kwa sababu tuko karibu hata kusimamisha biashara hii. Imezidi. Kila siku nasikia kuna gari imepigwa, kila siku kuna gari zimepigwa, kuna watu wanaumia, watu wananyang'anywa mali zao.
You are indeed watching KTN Live at 1 with me, Eric Njoka. Time for a fast break. See you back shortly.